In Australia, an estimated 164,000 people in 2015 had autism. By 2022, there were over 2,190. Oh, fuck, sorry.
Don't worry, is that again?
Okay.
I can
Are
cut
you
that. Yeah, I can cut that out of the recording. Don't worry.
okay? All
Yeah.
right. I'm gonna start in Australia. Okay.
Okay.
In Australia, an estimated 164,000 people in 2015 had autism. By 2022, there were over 290,000 diagnosed, an increase of 55%. And in recent years, it has prevailed to 600,000 people diagnosed, increasing the prevalence by over 100%. As you all know, living with a disability is hard, and there are certain needs a person wants but can't communicate. Or there are times where exhaustion and frustrations get in the way, and most can't regulate or express. So, according to the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare, a person living with autism spectrum disorder, also known as ASD, have a persistent development disorder that are characterized with symptoms such as difficulties in social interactions, impaired in communications, and restrictive or repetitive patterns of behaviors. My name is Michelle.
And my name is Talia, and today we are here to present to you with an effective therapeutic tool for managing sensory dysregulation, anxiety, and overstimulation, the Sensory Pod. Michelle and I are recreation therapists, and we noticed this gap in the market that needs to be addressed. Our Sensory Pod, the Luna Pod, is targeted for children aged 1 years old through to 18 years. So, what is the Sensory Pod and how does it work? A sensory pod is an assistive device that plays a key role in sensory integration and sensory processing. Sensory pods can provide individuals with ASD a safe, quiet, and enclosed space where they can self-regulate from external overstimulations. This provides a support for them to manage sensory overload, mood, and emotional distress. Sensory pods are an enclosed acoustic chair large enough to just fit one person, and is designed to create a tranquil space by reducing external noise, harsh lighting, distractions, and lack of privacy. We can also connect music through our Luna pods that can play only heard by the person sitting inside. So now we will show you a small clip of the innovative technology to further inspire you.
Hi, I'm Brittany Evans. Meet BCI Eurobib's latest furniture technology, the Luna chair. The Luna chair is not just a chair. Let me show you. The Luna chair actually plays audio. It's made with the latest in technology, soundproofing foam that actually deadens the noise around you. So when you're out here, you can't hear the music, but when you're inside, that's all you can hear. Additionally, you can plug in your own MP3 player or media and listen to whatever you'd like. When your music is not on, you actually have complete silence and privacy. So hopefully I've answered all your questions about the Luna chair. Now go buy one.
So the key benefits of a sensory pod. It encompasses a multi-beneficial approach across social, emotional, and recreational domains. They support emotional regulation by reducing anxiety, sensory overload within public spaces, and also improve social inclusion and participations. In providing accessible sensory environments, these pods allow individuals with ASD to confidently engage within society. It increases independence and enhances overall quality of life, enabling the participation in meaningful activities. This aligns with the leisureability model in recreational therapists therapy, as it is the pods that address the sensory and emotional barriers that may prevent an individual with ASD from participating in meaningful activities. So, in creating these safe spaces, the sensory pod encourages leisure participation, emotional well-being, and also independence and social inclusion.
So, stakeholders, what makes the Sensory Pod highly marketable is its versatile design for suitability to multiple environments. We can see this within schools, hospitals, libraries, community spaces, and even shopping centres. So within schools, the pod can provide a moment for respite and calm in a highly stimulating environment. Research shows that sensory pods in school environments can improve concentration, participation, and emotional regulation. It can also help in support the challenge of reducing classroom disruptions caused by these sensory overstimulations felt by the child with autism spectrum disorder. Sensory pods can also be integrated within medical settings, such as hospitals, medical centres, dentists. So this can really help reduce anxiety during regular visits within the ASD care teams. Further, they can be implemented in shopping centres, community halls, sporting organisations, and even airports. This can really create a more inclusive community and promote active participations. So in creating these inclusive environments within the community that support accessibility and reduce stress, it also helps families and individuals navigate very overwhelming and overstimulating spaces with ease of mind.
So the reasons to invest. Why should you invest in a sensory pod? Well, sensory pods are an inclusive device. It supports the emotional regulation, it reduces anxiety, and increased participation in meaningful activities. Their compact and cost-effective designs allows them to be implemented across multiple environments such as schools, hospitals, community spaces, shopping centers, and even airports. They are easily assembled, stylish, and made from sustainable materials. So research has revealed that around 90% of the individuals with ASD experience the sensory processing challenges. So this is highlighting the necessity for the sensory pod to be inclusive within the environments. The right investors will be able to manufacture more pods. It will help us in educational purposes with the possibility of the government also joining on board for more funding. The market growth for the sensory pod in a global level has projected to $1.4 billion in 2025, and it has seemed to continue to rise to about 100%. So by 2035 it will continue to rise to 4.2 billion. The estimated growth of the sensory pod is about 7% to 12% in a global scale. But most importantly, they enhance community participation for a large amount of our population who struggle to find an inclusive environment within the community. With 1 in 70 Australians diagnosed with ASD, the sensory pod demonstrates the growing demand and need for sensory inclusive spaces.
So Michelle and I have also future-proofed our design. For future, we plan to expand into the adult population, where the sensory pods can be implemented in universities or even workplaces. So with future innovation of artificial intelligence, the sensory pod can adapt to higher technology, such as biometric monitoring, voice control, or automatic adjustment based on the stress and anxiety levels of a person. We can also further develop the sensory pod for wheelchair users. This really expands the inclusivity broader than solely autism spectrum disorder. Sensory pods can also be used to regain movement and strength through a variety of rehabilitation exercises with those experiencing physical disabilities.
To conclude, this design has a vast impact globally, and we continue to see an increase in disability. It's a universal approach that we hope to not only help those with disabled, but also enabled.
Yep, so emerging research and increasing demand suggest there is a major gap and growing need for sensory inclusive environments across education, healthcare, workplaces, and public spaces in general. So we need your investments to help us face challenges such as implementation on a larger scale, manufacturing, and the continued much needed research. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.